Welcome to Nollywood TV channel Offbeat News. Welcome to the world of strange news. I'm your host, Cyprian Joseph. Our first story takes us to Europe, where hundreds of redheads gather in Western France. According to the article, ginger, urban, strawberry, blonde, all types of redheads turned out in their hundreds in Western France on Saturday for the first Red Love Festival. Now we're going to talk about what redhead or redheads mean. What does it mean? It means that some people are born with red heads. So you can imagine that some other people might be laughing at them. So to come together, they have to create a festival that unites them. So according to the article here, one of the participants, quote, said, "I was born red, I will stay red, and I'm beautiful like everyone around me." Her name is Simon, a 32-year-old farm worker who traveled to the festival to hang out with people like us. Everywhere you go, you have to meet people like you. People like you will not laugh at you. So I think it's a way to empower themselves, because in the world we live in today, it's not very easy when you are different. So this is what this festival is all about. The narrative we're taking away from this festival is that you should be yourself. And when you're united in a cause that is common to you all, it all means that you will find comfort. And the question of inferiority complex will just disappear from your life. You see, it's all about, this festival talks about hundreds of redheads, people that were born with red head, goes so far to tell other stories. Now I can show you a family here. This is a family, you can see them. Here is the mother with two daughters. They were born redhead. The story here is all about people who are different. According to the article, if I should quote again, "Until I was 15, it was awful for me. Awful," said the young man with the long red beard. Now when I see a child, I encourage them. I don't want them to be subjected to the same isolation. So this is our first story, and we have some lessons to take away from there. You know, what are we taking away from here is, please, when you see people that are different from you, do not mock them. Yeah, be sympathetic, be open to people, be tolerant. So this is the story we're taking away from this festival, where people gathered, hundreds of redheads gathered in Western France. So our next stop will be in Algeria. That's a very funny one, because here the Algerian government orders internet shutdown during exams to stop students cheating. You know, I'm a teacher here in France. It's very hard to cheat in examination halls. Never mind their little attempts, but very, very. So, but here, Algeria went offline. Can you imagine that? The whole country went offline because of exams. Oh my God, oh my God. This is Offbeat, real Offbeat. For the start of high school diploma exams, the first in the series of internet blackouts to stop students cheating. Well, anyway, you know, it's a way of solving a problem. I think the best way to stop students from cheating is to give them more confidence. Here, the article goes on to say that mobile and fixed internet lines were cut across the country for a total of 2 hours, to coincide with the start of 2 separate school tests. You see, so it's a way to manage a problem, and the students that were exposed to this measure were more than 700,000 students. According to the article, there were more than 2,000 examination centers. So good luck to the students. I hope you pass your exams and you will not rewrite the papers again if eventually they were cancelled. Okay, so now taking you back to Paris here. Austrian arrested at Paris airport with 80 birds in hand luggage. All the little birds, animals. French police arrested him at the airport and on board a flight from Mexico with 80 small birds. So the birds, many of which fed on nectar, and all the while they were flying, you know, from Mexico to Paris, you know, the nectar, you can say bye-bye to that, because the birds were under arrest for almost 6 hours of flight. So the point is, animals, whether they're in the zoo or in a cage, is not their normal habitat. You know, some people might say, oh yeah, the animals in the zoo, they are well treated and so on. Yes, but people come to watch them and they might not feel happy. Okay, some of you might say, we have more important things to say. Why am I talking about animals? Okay, let's go on. The other topic here that really caught my attention is the headline reads, who you should trust according to science. You know, nowadays it's very difficult to trust anyone. Trust is the greatest thing you can offer to any person. Who to trust? How do you work it out? Is it mathematics? How do you trust people? From relationships to friendships and family. Even in your family, you can be betrayed. Some people blab all their secrets to everyone, but others prefer to confine in a small circle. Now, I think the question of confining a small circle is very good. So, but how do you decide what makes someone worthy of your trust? That's a very big question. And that's a $1 million question. How? Is the golden question that so many people would dream of knowing the answer to. Even myself, I don't have the answers. I don't have the answer to that. You see, because I've been betrayed many times by some people I trusted, I helped, gave them whatever. Even some people who've got families that I helped. But still, they go to stab you at the back. But how can you trust them? So a recent paper published in September issue of the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology reports the results of a series of experiments with the conclusion that guilt proneness is one of the strongest predictors of trustworthiness. In other words, if it seems like someone will feel guilty for sharing your secrets or letting you down, then they seem trustworthy. But I can tell you, keep your secret for yourself. But before you know it, the whole town must have known, it must have gone around the whole place. It goes like this way. This person, he told me not to say this, and it's a secret, do not tell. And then you repeat and repeat it and repeat it, and it goes round. So the study employed a mixture of techniques, including trust games and questioning, to mention guilt proneness alongside responsibility, trust, and other personality traits. You know, man is very complex. When I say man, I mean man and woman. That's what I mean. Okay, we are very complex beings. So the heart of a man, the soul of a man, is deeper than the ocean. So it's very difficult to trust anyone. But still, like the article is saying, you should have a circle of a tight circle, people you can confide to, which is normal, because We are social beings. You cannot be a loner. You can never stay alone. So we are social beings. So try as much as possible to find out the person you can trust. We are living in a brutal world, and you have to protect yourself. Your enemy could be the inner enemy, enemy from your family, your best friend. We've seen it in so many literature books, narratives, history. So it's very, very hard to trust people. Very, very difficult. But do not stay alone. The watchword is find someone to trust. Now we're coming to the last story I picked up for you. It's all about the animal world. It's here, so you can see it. Okay, you can see. Now we're going to talk about people who love animals. People really do feel for dogs more than humans. Now I can understand this topic because I've got a dog myself. Now if you're in Africa watching this program, I know the way Africans treat animals. Animals have no place in the African society like dogs, cats. But here in Europe, they are protected. That's just the difference. So please be considerate if you're watching this, and do not be surprised and said, oh, Cyprian Johnson is sounding like a European. I'm not sounding like a European. It's after having lived here for a long time. So in fact, I somehow have a sympathy for animals. Yeah. And even when I was in Nigeria, I had a dog. So I love animals. I love birds, like we've just talked about, the man caging birds, and some of them died, bringing them all the way from Mexico, and they died in the plane and only one survived. Now it touches me. I hate injustice also when it touches human beings. You know, like the number of children suffering in many places in Africa, children who are hawking food or whatever goods in the streets of Lagos or Dakar instead of going to school. It's something we here in Europe should be concerned about. I'm in a charitable organization where we are building a school in a village in Cameroon, you see, and making sure that children can go to school. We cannot help everybody. So the point is, we will do our best in our own circle, like we just talked about having an inner circle. I've got an inner circle where we're raising money to make sure we send 225 kids to school. You see, we are concerned about human beings, and we are also concerned about animals. So if you have a harder time empathizing with human suffering than with pets in peril, you are not alone. So according to a study published earlier this year in Society and Animals, humans may project more pity when a dog is perceived to be in trouble than when a person is ailing under similar circumstances. Much depends on the person. Some people are like this, what I've just read now, and some are for both animals and also for human beings. So there's no need reading the whole article. It's a study from Northwestern University. Northwestern University is in Chicago. I was there some years ago, and with my friend Cyril Ibe, because he had a radio program, so I do participate in his programs. So this study is from this university talking about animals. So this is the end of our offbeat news for today. And if you've got anything that sounds like what I have just offered you, please do not forget to write me or drop me a comment below. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, and thank you for watching. I'm your host, Cyprian Johnson. Make sure you come back every week to watch Nollywood TV channel Offbeat News. Remember, Offbeat News, it's the world of strange news. Thank you very much and see you. Bye-bye.